Hello, this is Nathan from Access TV. I've been playing Dead Space 3 on PlayStation 3, and this is the footage that I have captured therein. You can see it now. I'm a huge fan of the first Dead Space in particular, and Dead Space 2. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about Dead Space 3 as to whether, as you can see here, there's a terrorist plot involving the unitologists. There's an enormous marker explosion. This is in the first few minutes. So there is more of an action feel to certainly the beginning of Dead Space 3, and there's been a lot of talk about whether it was going to completely lose the isolated, cold horror of the first Dead Space. And I'm here to say very, very happily that that's absolutely not the case. There is quite an explosive opening. I think that they wanted to make an impact with the opening. You can see a new enemy type here. I think they're called Wasters, and Visceral Games, the developer, are very excited about them because depending on how you first attack them, they will then morph into a different form, and you'll have to adjust your strategy to take them down. The Necromorphs are essentially much as they ever were. They look like a jawbone which has gone giant and gone on the outside. That's a terrible description, but they are like enormous beasts of elbows and spikes and size, as ever. In this section, which is just as you're escaping your apartment, I'm not even sure if it is on Earth, but in this big city, you can see that you're shooting human opponents for the first time. That is a very new thing in Dead Space, and it does alter the way that the combat feels. The unique thing about Dead Space has always been is opposite to other games. In other games you have to get headshots, and normally in Dead Space you have to carve off limbs. Here, obviously, against human opponents you do have to get headshots. There's an element that it brings a variety to a system which was threatening to get old. I actually quite enjoyed it. This is the weapon crafting system. I think the logic was that there wouldn't be ammo just scattered around, so instead it's a weapon crafting system in the new game. Here I have got a weapon, I have made a weapon which blasts enemies to the floor so then I can shoot them with my second function. The weapon crafting starts off quite annoying. I just wanted the old guns back. As you get further into the game, the weapons get more powerful and it's a great deal more fun. As you can see, there are the same bosses with enormous pulsating weak points and also puzzles. And just at the end of the video here, you're going to see a bit of flying in space. When you get to this section of the game, there's several derelict ships which are in orbit around this debris field, around this planet which has got a mysterious thing on it which we can't talk about yet, but that absolutely captures the feel of the first game. And then you go down onto the planet and other things happen, and we can tell you more about that next week, because in episode 67 of Access TV, Dead Space 3 will be our game of the week, and so we'll be telling you lots more about the game.